This whole situation, I, 27 male, find myself in, is weird. I do think the backstory is essential here. So, my sister's getting married in November. We're close and always have been. So, I find this whole situation to be even weirder. I've been asked to be a groomsman on her fiancé side. He and I are cool, and it was important to my sister that I was included. I was really looking forward to it until I saw who I was paired with. So, 2 years ago, I met Tara, 26, on a dating app. We started talking daily, FaceTime a lot, and went on dates. We talked for over 3 months, and I felt like it was going somewhere. Well, after one of the dates, she completely ghosted me. I sent a follow-up text but got nothing back. I won't lie, I was really upset. I even talked to my sister about it. Well, the global issue hit and I moved away for a job. Come back to find out my sister and Tara are now friends. Apparently, my sister got a new job. Tara recognized the last name, reached out to her, and they became friends. Such good friends that she's now a bridesmaid and hangs at my parents' house. And my parents know her. I found out they were friends literally 3 weeks ago. She never mentioned it to me. I asked if she knew that it was Tara I got ghosted by, and she said Tara had told her, but wanted to keep their conversations private. Then I received a random text from Tara. She was asking what I wanted to do for our entrance dance. I immediately called my sister, who informed me that Tara and I would be paired up, which included the entrance dance. I asked why. I know many of her bridesmaids, and she had to pair me with the one that ghosted me. She said she had her reasons, and Tara also asked for me specifically. I never responded to Tara, and instead went to talk to my sister in person. I got the same answers, and this time she sounded offended that I asked for a different person. I told her how uncomfortable it made me, and she told me to stop overthinking and just have fun. I said that she didn't understand how hurt I was. She said she had an idea, but to do it as her wedding gift. I told her I'd be stepping down from the wedding party, and I'll just go as a guest. She went nuts, saying I couldn't do that, and she wanted me up there. I said, fine, then just switch me to a different girl. She said she wasn't going to, so I told her I'd be dropping out. My parents are calling me an idiot, but I don't think I am. It's a weird request, and I'm not about it. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. They might be trying to set you guys back up, but why would you want to when not one person's willing to openly clear the air about what happened? Instead, they try to force you two together without an explanation and expect you to put aside your own feelings and self-respect to accommodate this, which is unnecessary in the first place. What a weird situation, lol. Like they all know something you don't about something that directly affected you, and rather than help you get clarity, they all run cover for her. Tara and your sister are up to something, but you do not have to let them play their stupid game. Contact your future brother-in-law. Tell him you were honored by the request to participate, but you must step down from being in the wedding party. Tell him why. Tara and your sister can if they don't like it. Agree. It sounds like Tara wants to pretend she never ghosted you and hopes to get with you, and your sister's trying to push it by insisting on pairing the two of you. And honestly, Tara comes off as creepy. If I dated someone and the relationship didn't end on good terms, and I don't consider ghosting someone on good terms, I certainly wouldn't seek out their family for friendship. It's super creepy, and I don't know why OP's family doesn't see this. EW, what is wrong with your sister? So, Tara ghosted you, deliberately sought out your sister, interjected herself into your family, specifically requested to be paired with you at the wedding, and is now making you look like the bad guy for not going along with her delusional matchmaking BS. Tara and the sister think this wedding is a plot for a rom-com, and she and OP will end up happily ever after. Run. OP. My ex-wife has majority custody of my daughter, Corinne, nearly adult. Corinne only comes to our house every other Monday and Tuesday and weekend. Then she spends the next week entirely at my ex-wife's. My stepdaughter Mackenzie, 20 female, lives full-time at my and my new wife's house. I want to mention that my ex-wife makes almost triple what I make. I'm certainly not poor, and my new wife and I are upper middle class. On the other hand, my ex-wife and her new husband aren't strapped for cash. Corinne got her driver's license last week, but she's had a car that my ex-wife brought her since she got her permit a year ago. Before she bought it, my ex-wife wanted me to split the cost of the car with her. I told her no because it was ridiculous that she would expect me to pay 50% for a car coming to my house less than a quarter of the time. That's like paying full rent on a house and only being allowed to live there half the time. My ex-wife was able to pay for the car on her own anyway. Corinne just got her license, and I was excited because she would be able to drive herself to and from school. However, my ex-wife will not allow Corinne to take her car to our house. I've tried reasoning with my ex-wife because Corinne has her license now, and she shouldn't have to waste time taking the bus on days when she's going to and from houses. My ex-wife is being childish and saying that if I want Corinne to be able to bring her car here, then I need to split the gas and insurance with her. I told my wife I was willing to split the gas cost, but I shouldn't have to split the insurance when she's chosen the insurance company and policy, while I didn't even get a say in it. A family friend, Lydia, calls me a hypocrite because I ultimately bought Mackenzie's car and paid for the insurance and gas. Mackenzie's biological father's a bum. She doesn't have another well-off parent to pay for it as Corinne does. And besides, Corinne's here only a quarter of the time. I told Corinne this, and if she wants me to buy her a car, we can always go back to court and try to get more custody time at my house. Corinne hasn't complained about it anyway. But Lydia says it's not the point, and Corinne will feel replaced if I refuse to split the cost with my ex-wife while paying fully for Mackenzie. But Corinne has not complained about feeling replaced or about the car arrangement. Besides, Corinne and Mackenzie have treated each other like best friends for a few years now, and I highly doubt that'll change over a car Corinne knows Mackenzie's other bio parent can't afford. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot a million times. The argument that you shouldn't have to pay because the car is only at your house a fourth of the time is the stupidest. It'll be in your daughter's possession 100% of the time, and you are responsible for 50% of her care, regardless of what her mother earns in proportion to your income. The irony of his stepdaughter's bio dad being a deadbeat who won't pay for his daughter because the ex is wealthier is not lost on me, but it seems to be on OP. I actually think ex-wife should refuse to allow Corinne to drive there or take the bus. Opie has to pick her up every time. You are the idiot. Your daughter isn't a timeshare, you donkey. Seriously, what a pine cone. You're not only the idiot, but you're also a deadbeat bum of a dad. You don't have to be poor to pour your upper middle class money into your new family. You brag about what you have, then nickel and dime your ex-wife, the mother of your child, over insurance and gas. You also have the nerve to bully her about court and custody. I wish you would. The judge will have you paying double or triple plus gas and insurance. I've 25 been dating my girlfriend 23 for about 9 months now. When she turned 21, her parents gave her a car and she decided to name it Angie. I learned all this on our first date when she said Angie took me here. I thought that was odd, but let it slide. Throughout our relationship, she's always talked about her car as if she's talking about another person. When she got a flat tire on the highway a few months back, she called me and said Angie's shoe broke and she has to get a new one. When she goes to the car wash, she describes it as giving Angie a bath. This all came to a head this weekend when my friends and I went out drinking and my girlfriend offered to be the designated driver. We were out for a couple of hours and I admittedly drank a bit too much. So, when my girlfriend came to pick us up, she stopped at the gas station first to get Angie something to drink. This is where I may be the idiot. I told her I thought it was weird and embarrassing to talk about her car like that. It's a machine, not a pet or a kid, and she should treat it like how a normal person would treat any machine. She got very quiet and refused to say anything for the rest of the drive home. She dropped off my friends and then drove to my apartment. I asked her why we weren't going back to hers, and she said she needed some time to think and told me to get out. She's been radio silent since then, and I'm starting to think I did something wrong. Am I the idiot for what I said? Have you ever been on a boat? How does this hurt you exactly? Your girlfriend and Angie did you, and your friend's a solid driving your drunk buds home safe, and you had the nerve to insult her over something so trivial? My car, Victoria, says you are the idiot. My first car is like a baby. Mine was Toby, an old dark red VW. Are you kind of jealous about the car that she's driving? Do you feel it emasculates you? Because that isn't true. Just relax and be happy for your girl. You called her weird and embarrassing as she did you, and your stupid drunk friends a favor late into the night. You made her feel stupid because she now knows you're secretly embarrassed by her for months over a quirk. If you can't turn this around, you are the idiot and probably a single one. While our parents love me, 30 female, and my younger sister, Olivia, 27. We were not treated equally or held to the same standards. I was always expected to be a hard-working, accountable child and make responsible choices. But Olivia was encouraged to have fun, and our parents bailed her out whenever she made an irresponsible decision. For example, when Olivia performs poorly in school due to not making an effort, they would pay tutors to do her homework. But if I genuinely struggled in a subject, they would tell me to figure it out myself. Their justification was that Olivia was the baby's sister, and she needed more help and attention than I did. But they've still clung to this excuse when Olivia was well into adulthood. I still love my parents, but due to their favoritism, I'm honestly closer with my husband's parents than my own. My parents helped financially with the first 2 years of college. Then I had to cover the rest of my bachelor's and master's degrees myself. They financially supported all of Olivia's education. Olivia wanted to become an RN, just like mother and grandma, but she couldn't pass most of her general education courses and eventually dropped out because she said it was too hard for her. Olivia then convinced our parents to invest a massive amount of money in her to begin a business. She owned a store that sold things like candles and bath bombs, but the store went bankrupt after a year. Currently, Olivia is unemployed and living with our parents. She claims she's figuring herself out, which means she's mainly partying and spending time with her high school friends. Olivia is upset because many of her old friends are no longer in the area. She'll call me to express her disappointment because her friends are moving on with their lives and families of their own, and they have less and less time for her. I tell Olivia I'm sorry to hear that, and that I have to hang up soon. We celebrated my toddler son's birthday with a family dinner. I was talking with my aunt-in-law about my students. I work as a creative writing tutor on the side to pick up some extra money, and it feels as if we were just having a conversation. Olivia joined and asked a few questions, then commented, "Not like you'd ever be able to make it big yourself. No offenses." I responded, "Livy, a quick reminder that you accomplish nothing in your life without mom or dad holding your hand. As soon as you do, you can criticize my work all you'd like." Olivia was, of course, offended and started causing a scene. My parents and a few other relatives said my response was cruel and I was out of line to say it, but my husband and his family said that Olivia invited it after insulting me first, so I am conflicted about if I'm in the wrong. I'm hoping for some unbiased perspectives. Edited to add, Olivia's never even been suspected of having a learning disability, much less diagnosed. I explained that Olivia performed poorly due to a lack of effort because she would skip classes constantly or take 20-minute bathroom breaks every class. Olivia was and still is intellectually capable of succeeding academically, but I believe Olivia's never learned how to apply herself and not give up when things become challenging. Not the idiot. So she can dish it out but cannot take it. Social media has made y'all comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. OMG, it was so cruel, but she needed it. I've got to stop with the be nice and be the bigger person BS. You've been doing it your whole life. Of course, your family will say that you're the idiot. They've spoiled her all this time. So don't feel bad, OP, and be a little self-centered. You deserve it. I don't think it was even mean. It was a simple statement of fact. You can be proud that everything you've achieved is due to your endeavors and your own strength. Unfortunately, even with your parents' financial and emotional support, your sister has achieved nothing and will be more of a burden as your parents age. They've ruined her by spoiling and coddling her behavior. So sad. My sister is a young preteen. She and I share the same dad and we have different moms. My mom died when I was 15. My dad married my half-sibling's mom when I was 8. They have 4 kids together, the young preteen, 2 younger children, and a toddler. I have more family than they do. My mom came from a large family with many siblings, cousins, etc., as well as parents and grandparents who outlived her, so I benefited from that. My dad came from a family who were in and out of jail, and he cut them out years ago. His wife is an orphan who's an only child and doesn't have a good relationship with her extended family, so my half-siblings have no extended family. It has been a point of contention between my dad and me and his wife, my dad, and my extended family, and my dad's wife and my extended family. Dad thinks they should have expanded the family with my half-siblings. He believes they owe them a family. His wife believes the same. They do not. Neither do I. The bad blood existed even before my half-siblings were born. Before she died, Mom left her parents and sister in charge of certain things she wanted me to have, not my dad. Apparently, she told him that getting sick so young and knowing she would leave me when I was so little made her realize how anything could happen. And while she trusted him, if he remarried, she didn't want his future spouse left in charge of her keepsakes. She didn't want some random woman in the future holding on to items she treasured and wanted me to have. My dad was so unhappy about it, and conflict arose there. I think all of this has contributed to my dad and his wife setting my half-siblings up with the expectation that my extended family would be theirs, and that they should be coming to stuff like birthday parties and sending them gifts and taking them out for day trips like they do with me. So, Dad told her that he told my grandparents about her birthday party, and so she waited for them to show up. And when they didn't, she was upset. She had friends and friends of the family, but not much in the way of family. She got upset and asked me why they didn't come. I had already voiced to my dad that he was being cruel, and I told his wife the same. They said it was my grandparents who were being cruel, so I decided to tell her that she was not related to my extended family. I explained that they didn't come because they're not friends of her parents, and they're not part of her or their family. I explained how they're my family because of my mom and how that worked. She looked so surprised to realize it didn't make them her family too, and hurt, because she realized she was lied to about having lots of family. My dad and his wife were so angry at me for talking to her about it. They said at my age, I should have been more sensible to know that it wasn't my place, and it was cruel to leave her with. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, assuming you told them gently and not in a mean or gloating way. It's the truth they need to understand. It may hurt a bit, but in the end, what would hurt more would be thinking that their own grandparents didn't like them. For some reason, your father seems to think that when he married your mother, her parents adopted him for life. Well, sometimes that kind of relationship will form. Clearly, your mom's parents don't feel the same way, and that's right. The fact that your mother felt it was necessary to put her heirlooms in the hands of her family suggests that she may have some inkling that your father would not be able to respect boundaries. And clearly, she was right, and either way, he owes his kids the truth. They're cruel to her by setting up this family dynamic. While telling her the truth hurt her feelings at the moment, it was a more loving thing to do. If you want to comfort your sister, tell her that while your extended family may be different, you'll always be her family, that you and her parents love her, and that you'll always have family around her, even if they look a little different than yours. Tell her that love isn't measured by the number of people giving it, but by the quality of love provided.